Have you ever felt like you were fighting a battle with no chance of winning? What if the solution isn't calling for help, but awakening your own inner cavalry? Today's session reveals a powerful teaching about fear, unity, and the courage to shift from survival to true cooperation. This is cavalry, and you might be surprised where it leads.
Here, I'll be describing events that act both as restraints and as impulses. When two opposing forces collide, they often cancel each other out, and that has been the recurring pattern of many journeys. I want to talk about personal potentials that harmonize with universal possibilities, enabling the fertilization of solutions that expand the very potentials needed to advance our shared purposes. In other words, we're once again talking about loving cooperation that nourishes the life of others and our own, creating more of what is best in each of us. The idea of living cooperation is inherently free of resistance, but in practice, it runs into barriers formed by other concepts, which I need to address right now. I must begin by distinguishing universal individuality from individual universality. At first, this may sound meaningless or like the two are the same, but they're not. Universal individuality is based on the notion that we are unique and sovereign throughout the universe. Take the expression, I am that I am. Put simply, I am that which I desire or feel is missing because in essence, we all originate from the same source. This idea is common to many spiritual traditions, religions, and philosophical schools. It suggests that simply recognizing that we are a single unit is enough for the necessary connections to activate, granting access to the expansion of life through the fruitful manifestation of the participants responding to our various questions and needs.
Hello everyone. This note brings the complication of the complicated. I'll pause for some academic commentary on the concepts presented, and then I'll ask Chris to continue reading Old Billy's original text. Dr. Ada Champ, would you please share your impressions of what we've seen so far and the lines of thought this note might be aligned with?
Hi everyone. This has prank written all over it, doesn't it? I'm suspicious of that smile on John's face. It's the first time we've shared the reading of a note. But here we go, here is my partial analysis. The idea of universal individuality begins with the premise that human identity is not limited to the empirical self, but is a singular expression of a broader ontological reality. Each individual is seen as a sovereign unit, not in an isolated or egocentric sense, but as a unique manifestation of an absolute principle or originating source. The expression I am that I am, often linked to mystical and metaphysical traditions, is interpreted here to mean that the I participates in the same substance or foundation that structures all reality. What a person perceives as lack, desire, or ideal is not external to their essence, but rather an expression of the ontological continuity between the individual and the universal. In this context, saying, I am what I lack, is not fantasy or arbitrary appropriation. It is the recognition that both the individual and the totality share the same metaphysical origin. The individual is not merely an isolated element of the universe. They are simultaneously singular and coextensive with the source that gives rise to everything.
Thank you, Dr. Champ. Could you also tell us whether there are philosophical, spiritual, or mystical traditions associated with what we've read so far in Cavalry?
Yes, John. But our friend Brian looks eager to jump in. He's very qualified, and I don't think I could answer better than he can. Besides, it's probably best to let him take the risk. Who knows what surprises await us in the rest of the note?
No danger, everyone. The list of traditions I'm about to mention has been tested for centuries. No surprises there. After all, the concept of living cooperation is simply life moving forward, isn't it? Here we go. Uno Advaita Vedanta, non-dual Hinduism. The phrase, I am that I am, and the idea that individuality arises from a single source align with Advaita, non-duality, Atman and Brahman. The individual self shares the same essence as the whole. All existence is an expression of one consciousness. This echoes the Sanskrit Mahavakya Tattvam Asi, thou art that. 2. Christian mysticism, esoteric Christianity, also connected to I am that I am, Exodus 3:14, mystical interpretation. The I am is divine essence shared with humanity. Human beings partake in the same substance as the Creator. The individual manifests divine attributes. This aligns with the works of Meister Eckhart, Jacob Boehme, and Teilhard de Chardin. 3. Contemporary spirituality and New Age traditions. The idea, I am what I desire or feel is missing, relates to consciousness-based reality. Law of attraction, New Thought metaphysics, unity between creator and creation, A Course in Miracles. These teachings affirm that human beings co-create reality from within. 4. Hermeticism, Corpus Hermeticum, Hermetic principle, as above so below, meaning humans reflect the whole. Individuality expresses the universal, all things arise from a single origin, strongly aligned with the ideas presented. Chink, Neoplatonism, Plotinus. Neoplatonism speaks of the emanation of the One. All beings come from a single source. The individual soul is a fragment of the universal soul. Self-knowledge reveals unity with the whole, extremely compatible with Old Billy's metaphysics. 6. Mahayana Buddhism, especially Buddha nature. The idea, we originate from the same source, aligns with universal Buddha nature, emptiness as the unity of being, the inseparability of all phenomena. Though Buddhism doesn't affirm a sovereign I, it affirms shared essence among all beings. 7. Spinoza, Western philosophy. Spinoza taught God, nature, totality. Every individual expresses the same infinite being. Essence is one. Manifestations are many. This strongly echoes the ideas here. Synthesis. Old Billy's thought aligns with traditions that affirm the essential unity of being and individuality as an expression of the universal source.
Thank you, Brian. Dr. Champ was right. You clearly had something to say. Well done, and thank you for the well-organized response. Chris, please continue.
Now, on the other side, we have individual universality, which points to the principle of individuality cut off from the whole. This implies a notion of being separated, excluded, and unable to fertilize the other elements. As a result, we must accept personal limitations and conform to bargaining rules that demand payments or compensation for what should be an act of true cooperation. Let me try to describe how things work in the living world, in contrast to the beta world. Imagine a battlefield in an ancient war. The enemy approaches with 3,000 well-armed, well-fed, well-rested soldiers. Meanwhile, on this side, there are only 30 exhausted, hungry, militarily unqualified men. But their biggest enemy is not the imbalance of forces, it is an identity conflict. They perceive themselves as universal individuality, but the circumstances impose a cowardly perception of individual universality. But let me get back to how things work in the living world. If the situation were there, the group of 30 would expand their lives in an effort to reach the nearest Allied base, hoping for a cavalry stronger than the enemy army. The idea would be to use the love that crosses their chests to transmit distress signals that touch the hearts of the Allies, awakening recognition of their shared essence as a single unit. The resources would then come together to resolve the conflict. But this scenario is only possible within the limited imagination of minds still trapped in individual universality, beta world thinking. That's the danger. The answers feel convincing, which creates confusion, and we don't realize we're driving the wrong way down the road. So let's try again. In the living world, the group of 30 would again try to expand the life within them through the love that crosses their chests, hoping this energy would reach allied bases and bring a stronger cavalry. Everything sounds the same so far. But here's what's different. In the living world, expanding life through love is not just a good idea or an efficient strategy. It is a real, concrete phenomenon. As love expands like sunlight, it spreads in all directions, reaching first the minds of the 30 men themselves, and then the hearts of the enemy. The result is the realization that the conflict makes no sense, that it has no solid foundation, and that harming the other harms everyone's essence. The only real victory is the recognition of universal individuality for everyone, allies and enemies alike. As the wise one would say, the cavalry hides in the hearts of the so-called villains. Individual universality, beta reality, is the one that imposes separation, defines places for resources, and supports vampiric bargaining systems where the powerful always exploit the less powerful in compensation for earlier abuses. Thus, if we are still crying for the cavalry, it means we're still in beta reality. We still have a beta mindset and lack the courage to trust the expansion of life through love. We cannot reach the Allies' communication base without first expanding our own life. And if we do that properly, we will no longer need to call for the cavalry. What a mess, right? Are we in the living world or the beta world? Do we need to call for the cavalry or not? What good does it do for the group of 30 to know what would happen in another world? What use are all these spiritual insights if despair is still running our lives? Well, the answer is obvious. This is the moment of awakening and choosing our evolutionary path. Those who enjoy battles will recognize themselves in battles. They cultivate adversaries so they have something to engage with. For them, the best option is to cry for help and cling to any strong aid that allows them to continue fighting until either the enemy or themselves are destroyed. But for those who see no meaning in war, who can no longer bear harming another or participating in systems of limitation, the only possible help is to become the cavalry themselves, accepting help while offering help in the spirit of true living cooperation. Knowing about the living world does not remove anyone from beta reality. What makes a difference is becoming aware and taking the step into being a member of living life. It's not about learning about it, it's about becoming what we already know ourselves to be. It's surrendering to belong to the world that matches the level of reality chosen, with truth illuminated by our own hearts. There's a prank in this light. The revealed reality is not where the rays reach, but in the opposite direction. The reality illuminated by the heart is the one seen inside it. The light of the heart doesn't blind us. Yes, it shines outward like a lantern, but the secret is having the courage to look toward the origin of that light into oneself, where the cavalry of life's expansion resides, through fertile love that impregnates adversity with the best of all of us.
Wow! If this isn't the definition of complicating what was already complicated, then I don't even know my own name. It's that strange feeling of, I didn't understand it, but I loved it. Something like, I lost the courage to feel fear when I feared losing the courage. I think it's time for that word, inexorable, or that Bedouin saying, maktub. Becoming the cavalry or crying for help sooner or later, we'll have to choose which world we want to participate in. Right now, I'm shouting for my heart to open its doors, project the light of my soul, and reveal the path of the cavalry of what's best within me.
Dr. Ada Champ, you were right about the prank, but even I didn't expect this surprise. To truly integrate with a fruit, it's not enough to study it. We have to bite into it, taste it, feel its freshness, and make room for its nutrients to travel through our veins. Studying the living world means nothing if we don't take the inexorable step toward the origin of the light in our chests. It's the first time I comment on one of my friend's notes. I've always been content just listening to all of you and learning. But now I need to echo Ivy. There is a step no one can take for us. There are cries and inner ears that depend on our surrender to the truth we value. Whether you call them angels, masters, spiritual guides, or something similar, all beings of wisdom and power who can hear our cries also know that the best help they can give us is the one revealed by the light of our own hearts. They want to illuminate the path to the doors that guard our own light and celebrate the answers of our own souls. May our cries be directed to our inner ears so that our greater capacities can awaken. Well, everyone, sometimes we need to confuse in order to clarify. Thank you all. See you in the next reading session. I love you all.